Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. As people are getting into the room, let me say hello to everyone who's coming in. There's Lakeisha that's in the room. Welcome, Lakeisha. As everybody's making their way in, here's what does us a huge favor, and it tells all of the platforms that we're doing a good job. For those of you who are trying to beat social media algorithms, there's no algorithm to beat. What you do is you actually serve people, you give them something of value, and they like and share and comment on what you're doing. And so we genuinely want to connect with you. And so just a huge favor, like, comment, tell us what you're excited about today, what you feel life and momentum on. If you've got any questions today, we want to answer those as well. But just a huge favor and like and share and comment, because that's what tells Facebook and even YouTube if we're doing a good job or not. So if it's relevant to you, we want to be able to do that. Lakeisha's from Powder Springs, Georgia. Welcome. There's Salamar. Welcome. Carmen, I know, is in Texas. Welcome, Carmen. I see Rochelle, but it looks like, oh, there it goes. Rochelle says hi. Welcome, Rochelle. Again, as you're getting into the room, make sure that you tell us hello. And if you're wondering what we're talking about today, let's see. Fresh lemonade. Good morning with fresh lemonade. There you go. Santos joining us from Stockton. Welcome. Just again, as you make it into the room, make sure that you say hello to us, that you like and you share us, because that helps us, helps Facebook know that we're doing a good job, and will actually make us a little bit more relevant to everyone who's out there. So what we're talking about today, over the last couple of weeks, I talked about the fact that September is the number one coaching month in the entire year. And for those of you who missed that, you can go back in time, because I can't really take the time to recap those things. But we are at that point. Like right now, we are 7 days away from the beginning of the most profitable month out of the entire year. January is number 2. Why is September number 1? Because everybody's gotten back into routine, even though maybe people's routine looks a little bit different these days. But school, work, all of the things, basically we are creatures of habit, and we have certain things that that even our body responds to. You wouldn't even have to look at the calendar. You just know, hey, this is what normally goes on during this time. This is the routine. This is the system that we fall in line with. And so it's an amazing time to sign clients, because people are ready to finish the year strong and to have more structure in their life and more discipline in their life, because it's required, especially during this season, fall season, when kids go back to bed on time, get up for school, all of that kind of stuff. So people are getting the last little bit out of summer over the last couple of weeks. I know that I've seen that a lot in our local area, because we're a hot spot for vacationers in California. But things are starting to settle down, and you see you see those things happening. Let me say again hello to a couple of people who are out there. Omira, welcome. Irina, welcome. Timothy, appreciate you joining. Carmen says, I'm excited. I got more subscriptions on my website. That's excellent. And Liana, excited about finally having the tools to move my business forward. And there's Julius. Hey, how's it going, Julius? All right, so let's jump in. What we're going to talk about today are what we call calls to action. And I can't find my clicker. Like normally it's like sitting here, but for some reason I can't find my clicker. And so I'll have to actually just, oh, it's going to be so much effort. I might have to touch the screen, but I actually created some slides, because what I need to do is create a foundation for what we're talking about, which are calls to action. And over the next couple of weeks, because it's going to take me a couple of weeks to really unpack it, but it's going to be perfect timing for you with September on the horizon, because you're going to really need this. First of all, what is a call to action? A call to action is any word, phrase, or sentence that encourages the reader of that sentence, to take a specific action. Now, here's the thing. If I were to right now, and I'm going to go on like social media right now, not Spotify, social media. There we go. If I went on Instagram, only because I know there's a lot of coaches who are on Instagram, and I just picked at random a coach. And I'm going to try to do this without showing anyone's face. Okay. So I'm going to go on there right now and I can show you, and this is kind of hard for you to see probably, but there is nothing on here that is a call to action. I'm going to pick another person. I'm going to look at people who actually have coach in their name. And I see again, nothing that has a call to action in it. And this is a critical mistake of coaches that they don't have calls to action on anything that they do. There's really two major marketing mistakes that I see coaches do all the time, because social media is your marketing tool. For at least for these people, it might be your website, it might be a number of things, but primarily it's going to be your website or it's going to be social media. Well, it's a real problem if people don't know who your target market is and who you're actually speaking to. But it's another critical issue. It's a critical problem. It's a missing piece, which if people aren't called to a specific action, what do you want them to do when they go on your website? What would you like these people who are listening to you all the time? Because I see some people on here doing 30-minute videos. You're putting a lot of work into this thing. Like, I watch it every day. There's certain individuals that put a crazy amount of work into their videos. For one, I'd say that most of you are working way too hard on it. If you're doing 30-minute videos every day, even 15-minute videos every day, it's too much. You're probably going to have to scale that down and be very concise, be very effective at what you're saying, and end it with a call to action. There's got to be call to action on your site. Now, just so that you guys know, I don't think that everything that you do should be a call to action. I'd say call to action, if we did a split, we want to be use the 80-20 rule. 80% can be anything you want it to be, from helpful content to recipes or whatever you want, because what are we doing all the things that we do in social media for? Ultimately, it's for this. It is, boy, my drawing's not too good today. It is all about connection, folks. And the coaches who don't want to connect, who don't truly want to connect, ask questions, engage with the people, are not really going to have a strong following. Facebook's not going to reward you, which, by the way, like this post, if you can tell, this is, listen, I'm going to give you thousands of dollars worth of information today with no strings attached, right? So if it's helping you, please like and share this, because you want it to, that just helps us get it out more and help more people. But the thing is that our goal has got to be connection. So all of the 80% is all just simply about connection, and it's connection and about serving and everything else. And 20% is going to be what we'd say we can call a CTA. So whenever you see that, CTA just means call to action. But what really is a call to action? Why aren't coaches using them? What am I really talking about when I say call to action? Well, a call to action should never be salesy or manipulative. And I think that this is why most coaches don't use them. Most of you, and I'm saying most because it really is most, because I've worked with thousands of coaches, so I know. So let's just get this stuff out there on the table, because I remember when I started out as a coach and I didn't know my value and worth. So that was a huge reason why I would never one reason why I didn't want to ever call people to an action is because I wasn't really sure that they would really, wasn't really sure I had anything to offer. And, I just want to serve and try to help people. And it's all about relationship. And we don't want to be taking advantage of people. We don't want to manipulate people. We don't want to be salesy. We hate those people. Or we don't really hate them, but we hate what they do. There's all this stuff, but at the end of the day, it's all about value and worth. If you do not have personal value and worth, you're going to be giving stuff away all the time, and you're not going to get anything back, because that is a worth issue. There is something wrong, and I've got to speak this into your heart. If you don't hear anything else, there is something wrong if you think you should give, and you should never ask for something, or you should never tell people how there can be an exchange. Every unhealthy relationship under the sun is all about someone giving, and Either they don't feel the worthiness to receive something, or the person is taking advantage of them. And you've got to model this. Like, even if you don't believe it yet, like that was what was true for me. I didn't believe enough that I was worth something. And so, honestly, I just had to start practicing it. It's the practice of it. I had to go through, where do these belief systems come from personally and all this other stuff. But I struggled until I got to that place. But you've got to go after those things. So, what else am I saying in this? Is that a call to action really is an invitation to connect on a deeper level. It's an opportunity for more meaningful service. It's also necessary to weed out the wrong people from the right people. Now, what am I saying about these three things? Let me go a little bit deeper. I'm leaving that on the screen just for a second so that you guys can write it down. An invitation is what a call to action is. I'm not really interested in trying to sell someone. And you guys know, whenever you get on a webinar and it's sell, 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 you opt in for an email thing and it's sell, sell, sell. And that's all they're interested in, is selling you a product. I'm not talking about call to action like that. The coaches who do try to do that stuff don't get any business either. So we're not talking about sell, 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 sell. What we are talking about is an invitation to connect. What does that really mean? Well, in any relationship, this is going on. In any human relationship, and this is a funnel. Now, I know some of you think about sales funnels and website funnels and everything else. I'm saying that every relationship is a funnel. What you're going to find is that all the people who are either out here or they're way up here at the top, there's a lot of people in that space. You know what we call those people? Either people we don't know or acquaintances, or people that we've heard of, right? Yeah. So these are acquaintances, right? So I'm just going to put A for acquaintance, right? But then when people start getting in the friend zone, what is it that's happened? Well, you've gone somewhere in the relationship. Maybe you had coffee, maybe you hang out with a group of people, and these people are more in the friend zone. They're not your closest friends, but they're in your friend zone. They're past acquaintances. And what happens is that each one of these things, maybe you were on a team together, you're at work together. There's some of those things that actually create that dynamic, but you go from acquaintance to friend zone to what would say is close friends, and then you get to BFFs, and then the people who know the most and the deepest, darkest things about you. What is true about all of these people? Here's what I know is true. If you wanted somebody to go and play do a game night with you, you'll probably ask everybody in this entire area if it's a game night. But if you need your kids watched, if you are short on rent, if you have an emergency, you need a ride to work, I'm telling you, you know that these people are not going to be the people that you talk to in most cases. We're going to get into close friends, BFFs, your mom died, whatever. You know that at the higher level of a relationship, there are certain things you can ask of people. And so when you're like, oh, I couldn't ask that person for that. Why? Because you know you have not had that relationship yet. That's what it is. And so what we do on a high level, like if I have a game night, or if we're all, there's going to be a group of 5 of us or 3 of us that are going to hang out. What are we inviting people to? We're inviting people into a closer relationship. We're inviting them into connection with those things. And it's a natural progression and a flow of that. The first person that you meet, like you meet somebody at that's a mutual friend, you've met them for the first time, you're probably not going to ask for a ride to work tomorrow. You're not, because you would be overstepping the boundaries. But when you have a natural progression of relationship, then it becomes appropriate at a certain level. You know what we're talking about? We're talking about exchange. At that point, the exchange level increases. And what we'd also say, not only exchange, we're talking about commitment. The commitment in the relationship. Why do you have commitment? It's going to be these three. Ultimately, it's going to be these three things if you're a coach. Same thing in natural human relationships: trust, likability, and we would say in coaching, you might say expertise, but what I would say is you actually have been a person who helps. You are a person who serves, because the people who only serve themselves do not get the call when crap hits the fan. It's the people that you know you can count on, right? This is the exact same thing that we're doing as coaches. So let me put that screen back up, especially for those of you who just made it in. And if I'm helping you right now, like and share this post, okay? Because I know I'm helping people, and a lot of people need to hear this. So when we have a call to action, we're inviting them to connect at a deeper level. And it's an opportunity for more meaningful service. Why? That's what it's really about. Because why down here? Your BFF is going to be the person that you can count on, talk about anything to, go to, all that other stuff, right? And you're going to be, and as you as the BFF are going to be exactly the same kind of person. Show up, all that. I'm going to be the person that everybody calls, right? And so when we invite people into this, we know that we're going to serve them at a greater level. And it's also, this is really, really important. It's necessary to weed out the wrong people from the right people, because here's what you know you don't need in regular human relationships. You don't need takers. When it comes to potential clients, you don't need people who always want free from you. Because if all they want is free and they don't want to honor the service that you bring to them, and there's never an exchange, you, my friend, are being manipulated and you're being taken advantage of. And they are not going to get transformation out of that relationship. All of you who are listening to me, and up to now, all you have had are free coaching clients, and they've been doing it over and over again to you, and you keep not asking for money and all this other stuff. You do not have enough value and worth for yourself, and you're training people to treat you this way. Now, I don't want to offend anybody by saying this. I needed someone to speak that truth in my life when I started my coaching practice in the beginning, because there's nothing worse than a starving coach. I learned really, really quickly, though, how important this was. Part of it came from my wife, because we're in the same boat together. If I'm starving, everybody else is starving, right? So I'll never forget one of the things that I went and done without a real commitment, without a real financial commitment. And I went and I served, and I put in crazy hours over the course of about 5 days. They gave me like almost nothing. Like, it did not even cover my expenses for what I had done. And that's even worse when you're doing business and you're calling your wife and saying, don't spend any money because I'm having to pay for this thing. And she's like, what are you talking about? I'm counting on buying food. Now, for those of you, I'm not being dramatic, because when me and my wife, when I was doing all this stuff, we had lost everything and we were in the recession, that time back in 2007 or whatever. Like, that's when I started my business, and we weren't making ends meet. And I still have the paper where we went to food banks during that time, because there were certain things that we qualified for and certain things that we didn't. And the reality is that a lot of people were struggling, and we were going to food banks. I'm not trying to make an exaggerated story. That's really what happened. Those things taught me. You can learn, because some of you have been helping people your whole life and have never gotten paid for it. And this is another reason why this is really, really critical. See, thank you, Paul. You helped me give myself permission to understand my self-worth. Awesome. Very cool. So let me go to the next little thing that I want you to say. How can you feel good about it? Because some of you are like, I never want to be salesy. And like, we're not talking about being salesy. We're talking about inviting people in a deeper level of relationship. We're actually going to serve people really well. So let me show you this. If you want to feel good about calls to action, here's what you've got to do in order to feel good about them. Number one, you've got to do what you say you are going to do. If you say that you are going to do something, you better do it. What do I mean by that? I mean, like, if you say, I want you to opt in for my email address, opt in for my email list, because I'm going to give you encouraging stuff and I'm going to give you valuable stuff, you better do encouraging, valuable stuff. Don't take advantage of people and manipulate them by trying to do a call to action that's sell, sell, sell every time. There's different levels. Like I would say here, there are different levels of call to action if you didn't grab that a while ago. See, the call to action on this level is when I said a while ago, you might invite people onto a team or a huge game night and it's 20 people. That's a low. See, this thing goes from low risk, and over here is big value and even sacrifice. That's what happens in human relationships. It's also what happens in a coaching relationship. So over here, that first call to action that's low risk, let me see if I can erase this stuff really quickly. The first thing that is low risk is email list. Now, the only thing that you're risking when you opt into an email address is this person has my email address. They might sell it to someone. They might send me a bunch of spam. They might be not giving me stuff of value, but it's low risk, right? Because there's no money involved. But what is involved? Well, there's an exchange involved. What is the exchange? It's contact info, right? And it's probably name. And if you even want to up the ante on some of this, you might even ask for someone's cell number. I'm not saying that's the first thing that you do, but what we're doing is that we're doing low risk and no strings attached, but we are finding a way, we're finding an on-ramp for this relationship to go further. That's what the invitation is. So you got to do what you say you're going to do, and you've got to give them what they want, which is something of value and something of benefit. So if you do not give them something of value, if you do not give them something of benefit, then they're going to be really upset with you, and they're going to unsubscribe from your email address or email list or whatever it is that you brought them into. But here's the last thing. The last thing is that all healthy, I should say healthy, not all healthy human relationships are based on value and worth. And if there is a one-sided giving and no exchange, then someone is getting taken advantage of. You've got to actually ask for something. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you some examples of some CDAs in just a second. And as you guys can see, I do not do fluffy stuff ever. Everything that we do, I've always given, here's the way that I feel good about what I do all the time. If I ever ask for anything, it's because I know that I've already given you a lot more than you're ever going to give me. That's one thing that's true. No one that I have ever worked with has given me more than I have given them. So I'm always overflowing of information, giving things, showing people what it takes to be successful. I'm a multi-six-figure coach. I don't make that as a brag. I make that as that you're actually learning from someone who came from wherever, probably a much worse place than most of you have, with no track record of success and a 400 credit score and all of that other crap that I came from. I'm giving you stuff that most people will charge thousands of dollars for, just even on a weekly basis. I'm not saving the good stuff for when you pay me for it. I give you good stuff all the time, because that's what is about creating trust, likability, and expertise. And you have to determine, for one, if you want to actually flip the switch and do something about the thing that you say that you want to do in your life. Like, I can't make that happen. Some of you are so driven by fear, and it looks like wisdom, but it's actually fear that's keeping you from making decisions in your life. Like, what I learned back in 2007 is that even working for an organization of thousands of people, I was expendable. Even though everybody wanted me 6 months before, I suddenly found out that I was expendable. And then it was after I'd moved my family all the way to California. We lost our house in Florida. We lost everything. And it's one of those things that I learned really quickly is that certainty, I get to determine certainty rather than other people determining it for me. Their decisions every day, and I work with leaders all the time. You wouldn't believe the decisions people make that are in their best interests and not necessarily in theirs, or that they think and assume is in your best interest, but is really going to hit you in the pocketbook later. It's always happening, and that's why you've got to do something about this. Our program's fully online and on demand. When I got trained as a coach, it cost thousands of dollars, and I had to make major sacrifices to go and do that. What we did when we started our program, we used to do live in-person training. It's very expensive. So we took all our training and went fully online with it. And so it's online, live, on demand. It's only $195. That's a 10 module course with covering all the core competencies of coaching. Ends with an exam. And when you score above 70% on your exam, you've earned your credential. We have unlimited retakes. We don't do extra charges and extra fees on things. There's only a $29 annual fee to just re-up your and keep your certification current. But for those of you who actually enjoyed what I did today, and you know that you need more help than just training skills, because that's what happened to me. I got trained and certified as a coach. I was thousands in the hole and had no clue of how to get a client. And I had no money left to try to figure it out. And so what I had to do is I had to figure out what are the pieces that can work and how can I actually build a business. What we did is we created this Jumpstart program, and it's a 20 core module business development roadmap. And we give you the A to Z on how to develop your business. Everything from how do you discover your target market? How do you discover your niche? How do you sell? How do you answer objections? How do you create multiple streams of income? Because for some of you, you think that a coaching practice is just a one-on-one clients. It's not just one-on-one clients. There's a lot of ways that you can offer your coaching services. Sometimes our Jumpstart students make it in on Mondays as well because they're hungry and they're always learning. Why would they even tune in on a Monday? They know that I'm always giving things of value and I'm always teaching them something that they can use to really, what I want is our coaches to thrive and to break into wealth. We're not just a school that teaches you how to coach people. We want you to thrive as a business person. And there's a difference. 90% of coaching is business. It's not even coaching. And so we really felt like we needed to create a program that covers all of those things. We supplement all of these modules with a weekly group coaching call. And that's where I answer any question, any business related question, any coaching skill related question that you need answered. We answer all of those things every week. You can also get feedback on anything that you're working on and connect with other coaches in the online community, role play, all of that stuff. Now, the price for those of you who are like, $97 a month is a lot of money. Well, it's the cost of Starbucks. It's $3.25 a day. Most people who do what I do would be charging you thousands of dollars a month and not apologize for it. I'm never going to apologize for it. This is what it costs. You have an invitation to create a six-figure business starting out with a $97 a month program that gets you certified, gets you trained, and gives you all of the tools to be successful. That's up to you. No one's offering anything like that. And honestly, when you look at it, even though that's our highest level of commitment, we're going to give big value. We're asking for a tiny bit of sacrifice, which is your Starbucks every day to make this thing happen. And it's really not much of a sacrifice because it's really low risk. I mean, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen if you invested in yourself in this kind of way? So no excuses. It's $97 a month. I want to look really quickly and see if there's any questions that are on here. Santos says, coaching is like spreading a web. Done right, it yields a profit. It will attract clients. Awesome. Julius says, this is very informative. Thank you so much, Julius. Santos says, no tire kickers. Awesome. Let's see. Carmen says, I had the experience that I used to provide free sessions and people did not appreciate the value. So this is true. Thanks so much. Santos says, LCTI boot camp with Paul, best training I've ever went through. Thank you so much. Or best training I went through. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Julia says, quick question. I'm doing the modules for the life coach. After I finish those, what's the next step I need to do? Well, if you're in the free course, all you have to do is add on the exam. For those of you who are interested, we do have a free course and you can add on the exam later, or you can add on Jumpstart, whatever makes the most sense. Lakeisha says, I became certified for my birthday, 8/21. All right. Way to go. That's awesome. All right. I am really super out of time. So here's what I'm going to do for the next 2 weeks. We're going to unpack call to actions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the words that convert. We're going to talk about words and we're going to talk about language. We're going to talk about moving from passive voice to active. Because some of you who are like, contact me, it's on your website. That's not a good call to action. But if I said something like, schedule a strategy session with me. That's much more effective. What am I doing? Telling people what to do. I'm telling them what I'm offering and what they're going to get. This is really important. So what we're going to do over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to show you a lot of those powerful words that help people connect with it and make connection with what you are offering, and how do you move people across the chicken line towards those things. And some of the calls to action might be, instead of sign up for my email list, no thank you, I don't want to do that. But get daily powerful tips on how to transform your life in your inbox. See how much more powerful that is? I'm not saying opt in for my email list. No. Get immediate access to all of my daily tips and encouragement in your inbox right now. What am I doing? What am I saying? I am telling people what to do, and I'm inviting them into a deeper level of connection, and I'm showing them what I have to offer. That is a low risk, and I guarantee you, if you even switch that, you're going to start changing the way that you do your email. Now, that's just a little nugget of what's to come over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to invite you to be a part of that. Again, no fluff Mentor Mondays. You know that I always give you guys really good stuff. There's a link inside the description. If you'd like to join the Jumpstart program, you can be a part of our call on Wednesday. It's an hour long every Wednesday. And, you know, you're literally seconds from being able to enroll right now. If you click on that link, you can get enrolled. Hey, that's what I need you to do. That's the call to action. You've got to do something about it today, not tomorrow. Might be log into your website and change stuff based on what we're even talking about today. It means changing the way that you do your Instagram posts and all of that other stuff. Or it might be that today you need to enroll and get certified as a coach and quit procrastinating, quit living in fear, and take control. So awesome. Well, I am going to head out for the day. Listen, I appreciate you guys immensely. Like and share this post, and have a great rest of your week. Take care. Bye.